Hello and welcome everybody to another Love Energy Wellness presentation. I am your host, Jeffrey Mort, certified integrative health practitioner. And let's get started with today's presentation. I'm so grateful for you being here, each and every one of you watching this, and I appreciate your time to learn about integrative health education. So today's presentation, an integrative approach to better mental health, how functional medicine can serve at a subclinical level. So I want you to think for a minute about this question. How does it feel to make little or no progress? And what I mean is, little or no progress as far as your health, as far as your well-being, as far as your mental health. Like, how does that make you feel if you are a person who falls into that category? Or if you know somebody, maybe everything's fine with you and you know somebody that struggles to make progress with their well-being, their mental health, especially. They feel stuck. They feel like they are stuck in a place that they just can't get out of. They feel trapped. They feel frustrated. They feel like they're in a loop, right? Looping back and forth, around and around, ending up in the same place each and every time they try to do something, and they're frustrated with their health, with their mental health. And then that creates overwhelm. Then they become overwhelmed. And some people might refer to or start to think of themselves as being broken, right? Why can't I get out of this pattern? I'm in this stuck holding pattern, and I can't break free from the frustration, from the overwhelm, from the anxiety and the depression. And it just gets exhausting. It just wears us down. And I've been there before. And probably one of the reasons why I educated myself and became an integrative health practitioner is so that I could help myself, and then I could go on to help other people. So these are not good feelings. These are not good feelings at all. Of feeling stuck, feeling frustrated, feeling overwhelmed, feeling like we're broken, and just being exhausted all the time, waking up tired, being tired all day and exhausted at night, and then just eventually you just feel burnt out. So we must always remember to keep asking why. So in addition to helping with the main issues, we must always remember to keep asking why these issues are at the surface level. And in a moment, I'm going to walk you through a few scenarios that give you a deeper look into what may be causing these debilitating symptoms. I want you to consider for a moment that it's entirely possible that there's a deeper underlying root cause to the anxiety, a deeper underlying root cause to the mood, the low mood, or the learning and focus disorders, and a deeper underlying root cause to the depression and even the sleep issues too. These are all very important. You can see some of these symptoms that we have listed there. Insomnia, depression, low energy, low libido is a big one for people. Just low sex drive. They just don't feel sexy. They don't want to. The body is not in the mode to create. It certainly isn't. And then anxiety and stress and overwhelm, like we talked about. Brain fog is a big symptom nowadays. It's not just a buzzword with the brain fog, especially with the pandemic that's going on, that post-viral brain fog. Memory loss, of course, that's been a big issue for a long, long time. Memory loss with dementia and Alzheimer's. Mood swings is a big one. And, if you notice yourself being moody, learning issues, whether you struggle yourself or somebody that you know, or maybe it's a child that you have that has a learning disorder, focus disorders, attention span, we must always remember to keep asking why, because just, again, consider for a moment that it's entirely possible that there's a deeper underlying root cause to these issues. And I want you to know there is always an answer. For example, the thyroid gland, it's a vital hormone gland. It's a vital hormone producing gland, and it plays a major role in the metabolism. It's really the governor of your body's metabolism. It's the barometer of the metabolism. It tells the body how to process, how to metabolize, how to turn things into energy, food into energy, oxygen into energy. And the thyroid has that major role of growth and development of the human body. And when functioning properly, it helps to regulate many bodily functions by constantly releasing proper amounts of thyroid hormone into the bloodstream. or thyroid hormones, I should say, what might be a possible cause of low thyroid? Well, let me go through a couple of. I'm so glad you asked. Let me go through a couple of items here for you. Possible causes of low thyroid could be chlorine, could be fluorine, and it could be fluoride. These are all chemically related to iodine, and they compete with it. They actually compete with iodine, and they block the iodine receptors in the thyroid gland. So your thyroid sees iodine, and that triggers a function to produce more thyroid. Um, Dioxin, it's a dangerous chlorine-related compound found throughout the food chain, and it's one cause of low thyroid. And then fatty foods such as meat, poultry, seafood, milk, eggs, and their other products, like dairy products, are the major dietary sources of dioxins. So, can anyone guess where we may encounter chlorine? Or how about fluoride? So, we'll talk about that for a minute. The chlorine can certainly be from your municipal drinking water supply. So if you drink tap water that comes from a municipality treated water supply, such as a water treatment facility, it definitely has chlorine in it. Now, the chlorine is there to kill the bad bacteria in the water so that it's safe for drinking. But what this also does, not only does it wreak havoc on your thyroid because it's mimicking the iodine that your thyroid's looking for, but it also kills the good gut bacteria in your gut. Now, you need good gut bacteria in your gut for a healthy, balanced body. So if you're drinking tap water with chlorine in it, it will disrupt your thyroid, it will disrupt your gut, your microbiome, and wreak havoc on your health and on your entire system. Now, you don't necessarily, let's say, all right, Jeff, I'm drinking bottled water. I'm drinking bottled spring water instead of my municipal water. Okay, well, if you're showering in a hot shower in that municipal water, which most likely you are, then the steam produced from that hot water contains chloride, and you are now inhaling that, and that is getting into your body as well. So you don't just necessarily have to drink the water, but you just need to be around the water, whether you're bathing in it or taking a shower in it. Another source of chlorine or bromine, another halogen. These are all in the halogen group in the periodic table of elements, going back to science and biology class. And chlorine and bromine are found in hot tubs. So if you have a hot tub at home or you frequently use a hot tub, maybe you're traveling and you always use a hot tub in the hotel, if you can still do that nowadays, your entire body is soaking in either a bromine solution or a chlorine solution, and it's going to affect the thyroid for certain. And then what about fluoride? Well, fluoride, of course, you've probably been told by your dentist that you should be swishing with fluoride and you should be brushing your teeth with a fluoridated toothpaste, and that also causes the same effect with your thyroid, thinking that the fluoride, because it's another halogen again in the halogen group, just like iodine, it's mimicking the iodine, and your thyroid is going to not produce as much thyroid hormone. It's called hypothyroidism, which is low thyroid, and it causes things such as insomnia, concentration issues, depression, low energy, and low libido. Now, conversely, if you have hyperthyroidism, where your thyroid is producing too much hormone, you're going to get things like anxiety, you're going to get things like irritability, nervousness, stress, and overwhelm. These are all signs, or just a few signs, of hyperthyroidism. That's high thyroidism. So remember, there's always an answer. We'll move on to our next slide. Again, there's always an answer. Adrenal fatigue, if you've heard of this, chronic adrenal fatigue or chronic fatigue syndrome, known as CFS. Maybe you or somebody that you know has been diagnosed with CFS. And that is just a group of symptoms. Any disease is simply a group of symptoms that, a doctor or a, clinical governing body has given to a name of group of symptoms. And, so if somebody suffers from anxiety or insomnia, depression, low energy, low sex drive, low libido, that doctor could say, well, all these tell me that you have adrenal fatigue, and here, take this pharmaceutical and be on your way. Your adrenal glands, they sit atop of the kidneys, just like you see in the photo there, and produce hormones that help regulate your metabolism. Again, they regulate your immune system, they regulate your blood pressure, they regulate your response to stress and other essential functions. Adrenal glands, they are composed of two parts, the cortex and the medulla, which are each responsible for producing different hormones. I'm not going to get too deep into the physiology and the biology here. But the adrenals, they respond to stressors in the body through a complex system called the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, or the HPA axis, if you've heard that term before. And it's a term used to represent the interaction between the hypothalamus pituitary gland and adrenal glands. And it plays an important role in the body's stress response. The pathway of the axis results in the production of the stress hormone called cortisol. And cortisol is beneficial when properly released, right? Cortisol is not a bad thing, but there's a time and a place for the cortisol to be released. And the proper release of that cortisol, according to our natural circadian rhythm, to wake us up and get us hunting and gathering back in the caveman days, in the morning, right? You want to be a hunter-gatherer in the morning, so the cortisol is going to be high. And then, however, cortisol can wreak havoc and cause major health issues when overproduced and released at the wrong times, let's say for the evening, because your cortisol is on a inversely proportional seesaw with your melatonin. So you certainly don't want cortisol high in the evenings when your body should be producing melatonin according to the sun setting. That's like your trigger to produce melatonin and to set up to get a better night's sleep, or more accurately to say, serotonin is produced in the evening or during the course of the day, which then promotes the production of melatonin. And these are all hormones, neurotransmitters, chemical messengers in the body. So, think about what are some things that may trigger the HPA axis to release cortisol, right? Think about that. Next, there's still always an answer. Let's talk about mineral imbalance for just a minute and how that plays a role in mental health. Mineral imbalances, minerals are important for your body to stay healthy. They certainly are. They are what give your body the spark. Your body uses minerals for many different jobs, including keeping your bones and your muscles and your heart and your brain all working properly. It's pretty important to have those things working properly. Am I wrong? Right? Your bones need to be strong. Your muscles need to function properly. Your heart needs to beat, X of times per minute for your entire life. And your brain needs these minerals to function properly. Minerals are also important for making enzymes and hormones. Magnesium, for example, is a cofactor in more than 300 enzyme systems that regulate diverse biochemical reactions in the body, including protein synthesis, muscle and nerve function, blood glucose control, and blood pressure regulation. It helps to maintain normal nerve and muscle function, supports a healthy immune system, keeps the heartbeat steady, and helps bones to remain strong. It also helps adjust blood glucose levels, and it aids in the production of energy and protein. Now, I just want to add a little caveat to that. I said more than 300 enzyme systems. Now, it's been said that up to 700 to 800 enzyme functions in your body are dependent on proper magnesium levels. So I use a magnesium product called Natural Calm before bed to help get a better night's sleep. Curious if anyone has ever used magnesium spray or magnesium cream or anything like that just for sore muscles. So magnesium has many, many uses, and that's just one of the many minerals and electrolytes that your body needs to keep balanced and avoid things like apathy, avoid things like brain fog, avoid things like memory loss, avoid things like low energy, racing thoughts, if you've ever had those kind of symptoms, or even heart arrhythmia, right? Heart arrhythmia. Now, of course, there's been cases where somebody goes to the doctor because they're having heart arrhythmias, irregularly. And what does their doctor do? Well, they send them to a specialist. And what does a specialist does is sends them to a surgeon and has a pacemaker installed, when in fact, their magnesium was just out of balance. It's as simple as that. And you may think there's no way that they would actually put a pacemaker in a patient when they could just simply balance with magnesium. Well, keep in mind that that is really the direction that modern medicine has gone to, and it's an extreme. And in some of these extremes are absolutely barbaric with the things that they do that they consider the leading edge of medicine. So not only is our mineral levels important in our body, but mineral ratios are even more important, right? Your calcium to magnesium ratio, your sodium to potassium ratio, your copper to zinc ratio. These are all super, super important to maintain the proper ratios. So not only having, enough magnesium, but having, magnesium compared to calcium with those ratios, when those are off, you're going to get a different result. Very, very important to know that the ratios are correct. And again, moving on, there is always an answer. There's always an answer. Microorganisms capable of causing disease or pathogens usually enter our bodies through the eyes, through the mouth, through the nose, through the urogenital openings, or through wounds or bites that breach the skin barrier. Organisms can spread or be transmitted by several routes. So let me know or think to yourself, if you think these pathogens cause stress on the body and on the mind, right? How many of you would be surprised to find out that you're a host to one or more of pathogens? The FDA, the Federal Drug Administration, or the Food and Drug Administration here in the United States, estimates that 1 in 6 Americans have a foodborne pathogen. And that's just foodborne. Again, we talked about how these things can be transmitted through the eyes, through the mouth, through the nose, or through the genitals, or through a wound or a scratch or a cut or a bite or a bug bite. That's how these pathogens, these parasites, can get into your body. And they can cause things like neurological issues, right? We're talking about mental health here today. And things like autism, things like nervousness, things like mood disorders, ADHD, sleep issues, and unexplained stress. And these are all pathogenic related infections caused by things like candida, which is yeast overgrowth, right? And that's very, very common. Majority of people have a yeast overgrowth in their gut, and they don't even know it. And this is a pathogen, not necessarily a parasite, but in the same category because it's a pathogen. Things like Clostridia, things like E. coli, things like H. pylori, Helicobacter pylori, mold, and actual parasites that are living in your body, like ringworm or tapeworm. There's so many different ones, right? But there's always an answer. There's always an answer for the neurological issues, whether it's autism or nervousness or mood disorder. And these are things that are vastly overlooked in conventional medicine nowadays. And this is really why I chose to get into integrative health, is for many of these reasons, that it's just not well known. These are things you're learning, things today that are honestly that were taught to me by a naturopathic doctor, that are not taught in medical school for your primary care practitioner or your general practitioner or your nurse practitioner. You go to the doctor with trust that these are healthcare professionals that are going to help you, and no disrespect to the path that they chose or the education that they got. But really, let's look at things, and this is, again, back to the integrative approach on a holistic level. Let's look at things on a holistic level. Let's look at all the options, and there's always a reason why. It's not, conventional medicine likes to say that we have these symptoms, so take this chemical, right? Take this pharmaceutical, take this drug that has a whole bunch of side effects, and that's not the path we want to go down. There again is always an answer. There is always an answer to things like migraines and autism and brain fog and mood disorders and ADHD and sleep issues and cravings. What does that group of symptoms all have in common? Is they're all found in food sensitivities. Food intolerances and sensitivities are extremely common, and research demonstrates that they are on the rise. In fact, it's estimated that up to 20% of the world's population may have a food intolerance. Food intolerances and sensitivities are considered by some to be difficult to diagnose due to their wide range of symptoms. However, a functional medicine approach can prove otherwise. So think to yourself, does anyone know the top 3 food sensitivities? Not allergies now, that's different. I'm talking about food sensitivities. A food allergy is immediate, and it's what's called a IgE response, which is immunoglobulin E response. And we're talking about an IgG response, which is different. These are sensitivities. So the immediate reactions, you might think of peanuts or shellfish, somebody with an allergy to those, or a gluten allergy, right? They're gonna swell up, their throat's gonna close up. They need their EpiPen because their body is going into anaphylactic shock, right? That's an allergy. We're talking about sensitivities and intolerances to certain foods that can take up to 24 to 72 hours to show the signs, and that those signs might be a skin rash. Those signs might be irritable bowel syndrome. Those signs might be a migraine. So if you have a migraine today, would you actually think that it was from lunch 3 days ago? Tell me what you had for lunch 3 days ago. You probably can't remember, right? But that migraine, or those symptoms of autism, or that brain fog, or that mood disorder, ADHD, or sleep issues, right? A bad night's sleep could be something that you had for breakfast 3 days ago. Imagine that. So there is always an answer, my friends. And again, this might be, a little out of the average way of thinking, but this is functional medicine, my friends. This is not something that I certainly made up. This is something that I learned, and I said, this is part of my message. This is something that I need to help people with, because somebody that goes to the doctor with symptoms of autism is most likely going to get prescribed a pharmaceutical drug and have adverse side effects to that, which is it's really putting a Band-Aid on it. It's treating the smoke and not the fire, not the underlying root cause, and going to cause more issues later down the road with those pharmaceutical drugs. There's always an answer. There is always an answer. So who should be concerned about things like candida, right? Yeast bacterial overgrowth, or metabolic waste and vitamin levels? Well, only everyone. What can we look for? What can we look for mood imbalances and learning issues and memory issues, autoimmune issues, brain fog, again, headaches, digestive issues, malabsorption issues, right? Not being able to absorb the food that you're eating and actually extract the nutrients to convert into energy from the food that you're eating. You could be eating the best diet in the world and spending all the money on organic produce, but if your body's not absorbing it, then it's just passing through your body and you're not getting the benefits of that. Or what about symptoms of like joint pain or skin rashes, right? These can be from things like yeast and fungal overgrowth, from mold and bacterial overgrowth, which are more common than you may think. Just because you don't see mold on a piece of food doesn't mean that it does not contain mold. Coffee is actually one of the highest levels of mold in foods that is on the market. So all the more important to be eating high quality foods from organic sources. Things like energy metabolism, neurotransmitter metabolites, having oxalate issues or vitamin deficiency, glutathione production, which are your antioxidants, which fight free radicals, which reduce chances of disease and cancers and things like that. Ketones and fatty acid breakdown, and phosphoric acids, things like calcium and magnesium and vitamin K and vitamin D, right? So what can we look for? Well, we can look for biomarkers like yeast that are near impossible to test at a lab facility, right? We don't look for a thing in functional medicine or in this particular test that I'm about to tell you about. We look for the unique waste metabolites that the thing leaves behind. So that's something, conventional medicine, they'll do a test and they're looking for a thing. And functional medicine will actually look for the metabolites that thing leaves behind. And the more waste found, the more of that thing was present, or something unable to be used if there's an overabundance of it, because of dysregulation. So let's say your vitamin level is, or your calcium level is off the chart, and it doesn't mean that you have too much of that. It means that you're not utilizing that. You're not using that, utilizing that mineral. So these, looking for the metabolites, right? The waste metabolites is sort of like, I use the analogy of a hunter out hunting in the forest. Let's say they're hunting for deer because they like clean meat, and they're of that earthy type, a hunter. I myself used to be a hunter. And this would correlate to the hunter seeing footprints of a deer in the mud or the snow. The hunter knows that they are on the right path, right? If they see footprints from that, especially if they see many, many footprints like a barnyard, then they get all excited and they know they found a great hunting spot. But they know that that area has deer there at certain times of the day. And doing a certain functional medicine test will help to look at the metabolites that the thing leaves behind, right? The waste product. So if you see deer poop in the woods, you know that there were deer there. Well, if you see waste metabolites from something like candida, then you know that the candida is present in the body. And the more waste found, the more that thing was present or, again, unable to use. So these are all symptoms that lead people to see mental health professionals. And this is, again, we're taking an integrative health approach to mental health, right? So if anybody has those types of symptoms, they're going to go see their mental health professional, or first start off with the doctor and then go to a mental health professional. And these are all causes that conventional medicine typically overlooks, right? Conventional medicine, when was the last time you heard your doctor say that you had probably had a mold issue, or you might have a parasite issue, right? They usually don't do that. And this is where integrative health shines, absolutely shines. So a little bit more about me. Now that we're into this presentation a little bit, I'll share a little bit about myself. I am Jeffrey Mort, certified integrative health practitioner, a wellness coach, and founder of Love Energy Wellness, a private world-class virtual wellness practice. And I'm grateful to have this opportunity today to bring this education and the future of health to you all. And I'm grateful for you watching. My training in integrative health has its foundation in 7 natural modalities of healing science and wisdom, starting with Ayurveda, which is the 6,000-year-old science of life and body typing. It's actually the oldest type of medicine still being practiced today, and it is the science of life. Also, bioregulatory medicine, which is the science of self-healing and rebalancing. Also, traditional Chinese medicine and herbalism, which is the unlocking of nature's healing wisdom. Eastern philosophy, which is using the mind to heal the body, very, very important, very proven in science and research. Also, traditional naturopathy, which is using right living to reverse illness, right? This is a lifestyle-based medicine. And orthomolecular medicine sounds like a big word, but it simply means the science of vitamins and minerals as medicine, because that's what your body is built on. It's built on minerals, it's built on vitamins, it's built on things of the earth, things that the earth provides. And then also functional medicine, which is the application of state-of-the-art lab testing to pinpoint underlying root causes and symptoms. So there's a little bit of background about me and my education and what I do. Little quick slide here about the accreditations for the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, which I got my certifications from. They are accredited by the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. That's right, there is an association in the United States of drugless practitioners. Very, very important. International Institute for Complementary Therapists, right? This is also known as complementary medicine. International Practitioners of Holistic Medicine, International Association of Therapists, Approved Provider for Athletics and Fitness Association of America, National Academy of Sports Medicine, and also the Health Coach Alliance. We are accredited by all of those entities. Very, very important, and very, very proud of that fact, to have all of those national institutions backing the education that I'm bringing to you here today. So I said, Love Energy Wellness, our private wellness practice, is the future of health. Well, what does the future of health look like? True health care is not sick care. Conventional medicine has its place in acute care and trauma. And for that, I'm grateful. It's helped me out. It's helped my family out for acute care, for trauma, for accidents and things like that. And it's helped my family again, and through multiple surgeries and multiple events. And I'm certainly grateful for that. And who knows if we'd even be here if it wasn't for conventional medicine. However, it has failed to address chronic illness and diseases when the body is in a state of dis-ease of the body, right? This is where nature and integrative health shine. So the future of health, in my opinion, really looks like a network of multidisciplinary health and wellness professionals assisting clients virtually, because that's the world we live in nowadays, with creating their personal wellness team. And the use of functional medicine at home lab testing to pinpoint any underlying root causes of imbalance. And then to apply clinically proven natural protocols to get the desired results. I mean, that's all a client wants, really, is just to feel well again, just to feel like themselves, to have energy, to not be dragged down, not be stressed, not have anxiety and overwhelm, or diagnosed with ADHD or, chronic fatigue syndrome or any of those things. So the path to getting great results is best not traveled alone. And the process kind of goes like this, or it goes exactly like this. So what we like to do in our practice is we like to ask, and we like to listen to the client's story. We like to hear them out. We like to understand where they're coming from and meet them exactly where they are on their health journey, and listen to that and just understand where they come from, where they are now, what they've been through. And then what we do is we allow the clients to lab test, not driving to a lab and taking some invasive tests that only really get a small snapshot of where they are, but to lab test in the privacy of their own home. These are done at home lab tests provided or created through functional medicine. And these are really non-invasive tests. They typically work on something as simple as a hair sample, or a saliva sample, or a urine sample, or a stool sample, or a simple blood drop on a piece of paper that dries. It gets put in an envelope and mailed to the lab to get the results. We also provide personalized health education. So everybody is different, right? Your situation might be different from another person's situation. No two people have the exact same lab results. They certainly don't. They may be similar in fashion, because most health issues all boil down to an imbalance of the central nervous system, right? The parasympathetic nervous system compared to the sympathetic nervous system. That is your autonomic nervous system in a whole. And gut imbalances, right? Having an unhappy belly, right? Gut imbalances, having things like leaky gut or intestinal permeability. They really all boil down to those two main things. And to be able to narrow it down even further is we use the at-home functional medicine lab testing. And then what we do is we provide health education for the client that is bio-individualized health education. We educate our clients on exactly what is going on inside of their body. Because again, they are different from their spouse or their partner or their children or their neighbor or whoever. So it's bio-individualized health education. And then what we do is we recommend natural protocols to rebalance the body. That's right. We do not, as integrative health practitioners, we do not diagnose, treat, or cure disease. But we find through functional medicine lab testing the underlying root causes of the symptoms that are going on with the person. And then we use nature. These natural, clinically proven protocols to rebalance the body. The body is what does the healing, right? We just understand what's going on, and then we recommend natural protocols that will help the body to rebalance. And it's not just protocols. It's not just supplementation that you take. It's also personalized support. It's guidance. It's lifestyle changes along that path to better health. And one of the most important things that we do as a wellness coach is keeping you motivated. That's where most people fall off track, is especially in the course of mental health. It's just staying motivated and staying on track. So as an integrative health practitioner and a wellness coach and a health coach, that's my job, is to keep the client motivated and keep them going on their health journey and provide guidance and support. And sometimes it's just simply listening so that the client feels loved, supported, seen, and heard. That's really what it boils down to. But also getting the results that that the client wants. So complete, simple to use, and easy to return to the lab. This is really the future of health. At-home testing is simple and it's pain-free. And you can see some of the tests here that we have. These state-of-the-art at-home functional medicine tests use easy-to-collect samples of either a hair sample, saliva, urine, stool, or a simple drop of blood to give a full picture of deficiencies and toxicities to reveal the deep underlying root causes and imbalances of and disease, dis-ease, I should say, I should hyphenate that, in the body. So how many of you, I'm curious, were aware that at-home testing for health issues were an option? And these really fall into mental health as well, because you saw in these previous slides about a lot of the symptoms revolving around a lot of these issues and chronic issues in the body, and diseases of the body, which is just groups of symptoms, fall into the category of mental health. So how many of you were aware that at-home testing for health issues were an option? I'm just curious. So putting the functional back into medicine, what exactly is functional medicine anyways? Well, conventional medicine's version of normal carries all the way to the diseased state of being. Disease is when they begin to treat symptoms with chemical drugs in conventional medicine. Functional medicine will recognize early onset symptoms and work on rebalancing the body back to a healthy, natural state, which is called equilibrium, right? Or harmony. You want to be in harmony with nature. So you can see healthcare versus sick care in this disease model here that I've created for you. Abnormally, well, I should say the green in the middle is your functional physiological range, right? That's where everything's working just the way it should. And when you get into a functionally low range, which is the light green and yellow, or functionally high range, or which is light green, yellow, and orange, I should say, right? All the way up into the orange. These ranges from green all the way to orange is where conventional medicine, right, where your doctor says your blood work came back normal, that's the range, that's the normal range. But if things are starting to go array, you're starting to feel, you're starting to have symptoms, you're starting to not feel like yourself again, you're drifting into that light green, even lighter green, yellow, or orange range that conventional medicine says that you are normal. And until you get into the red, which is abnormally high or abnormally low, that's when they start working on treating you with pharmaceutical drugs and chemicals. So you really, in conventional medicine, you get no help until you get sick. And remember, you are not your disease. Don't personalize this. You are not your group of symptoms. You are an energetic, bioelectrical, magnetic being in this body that you are responsible for taking care of. So you are not your disease that they may have given you a name for, diagnosed you with. That is not you. You can be rebalanced. We can find the underlying root cause, and we can help you with nature. So educating clients on their own health puts them in control of the outcome. And you can see in the slide here, the picture on the left is actually what a food sensitivity lab looks like. And, something as simple as a food sensitivity test. It's super easy to understand. It's something that'll help you solve your food-based health mysteries by testing your levels of sensitivities to 190 common foods. And I actually think that test has been upgraded to test closer to 300 foods. There's no question that the foods we eat have a big impact on our health and quality of life. If you've ever heard the term food affects your mood, this is what I'm talking about. And this is a simple and straightforward way to get the results you need to begin making positive health changes in your life. Welcome to personalized natural medicine at its best. That's really what this is. The collection method for the food sensitivity test is a finger prick and a drop of blood on a card. And the complete food sensitivity test is a must, given the fact that there are so many people walking around with various and debilitating symptoms of inflammation. You may not even be aware how the healthy foods you are eating may be causing many of your own health issues due to the natural but exacerbated inflammatory effects of the immune system whenever you eat a food that you are sensitive to. So our IgG at-home complete food sensitivity test will help you assess the more hidden delayed responses and food reactions that often don't occur for 24 to 72 hours after eating one of your reactive trigger foods. Most of us have multiple food sensitivities. Do you know what yours are? You might not. You might not. You might be eating, spinach and kale and beets and walnuts and almonds and nuts and seeds and all kinds of pasture raised meats and good, healthy, good for you grains. And you might be allergic, or I'm sorry, you might be sensitive to the majority of those. And every time you eat those, your body is responding, saying, no, 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 we don't want that. And it might be responding in, ways of acne or a skin rash or a migraine or a sleep disorder or, any of those mental health issues that we went over earlier. Educating clients, again, puts their own health, it puts them in control of their own health and their outcome. It's absolutely vital that you know exactly what your hormone levels are as you age. Plus, if you're dealing with any type of lower mood, any type of metabolism or mojo issue, this is the time to get tested. If your goal is losing weight, we want you to know that it has less to do with your daily caloric intake, how many calories you're taking in, or how much you exercise, and has everything to do with the hormone balance of cortisol levels and your metabolism. And that's what your complete stress hormones, mood, and metabolism test looks like right there. It's also known as the thyroid adrenal hormone test, and it works off of saliva samples at 4 different times during the day. So if you get your hormone levels tested at your primary care, send you to the lab to get your hormone levels tested, they're going to do a blood test. And that is not the best way to test your hormone levels. The saliva is the best way. And at 4 different times during the day, you can see in that slide, there are 4 different vials to take a saliva sample. It would be in the morning when you first wake up. It would be midday. It would be in the afternoon. And then at night before you go to bed, to test your hormone levels at 4 various parts during the day. Now, think about trying to do that with, a lab. Are you going to make 4 trips to the lab to have blood drawn, which isn't even the best way to test your hormones? No, you're not. You're just going to take one little stamp in time from a test that doesn't properly test what you're testing for. And it gives only a quarter of the picture that you're looking for as well. So add hidden inflammation to the list of things, and it's little wonder why you haven't been feeling like yourself, like your true self lately. It really hasn't. So many people are walking around not feeling like their real true self. So this easy at-home lab test measures the levels of thyroid, adrenal output, and hormones. Plus, we'll assess how well your blood sugar levels are being managed and where your vitamin D levels are, which are super important as well for optimal health, longevity, and immunity. Excuse me. So the collection method, like I said, was saliva and also a finger prick. The finger prick for the blood spot test is for the thyroid test, and the adrenal hormones, the sex hormones, are tested through the saliva. And there's no doubt about it that everyone's hormones play a pivotal role in how they feel as they age. The problem is that being a bit too high or too low can send you into a spiral of low mood, no mojo, and metabolism. And then the other issue is that even if your hormones are in the right lab range, they must be in the right ratio with their counterbalancing hormone. For example, estrogen dominance or elevated venting cortisol. Super, super important to know about ratios for your hormones, just like we talked about ratios for your minerals. And for all these reasons and more, we can't recommend enough discovering your own levels of healthy hormones and the other cofactors that allow you to live a life of passion, of energy, and vitality. So let me ask, do you suffer from low energy? Do you suffer from low mood, low libido, weight gain, puffiness, anxiety, depression, brain fog, thinning, and brittle hair or skin? These are all symptoms of hormone imbalances. So who's actually in control of your body? You find yourself continuously stressed out. You've been experiencing bowel dysfunction or unexplained body pain and headaches. If you are doing your best to live a healthy lifestyle but continue to experience symptoms like these, microorganisms that have become out of balance in your intestines could be to blame. Yes, you're supposed to have microorganisms in your intestines, but they're not supposed to be out of balance. While a number of microorganisms are commonly found in our intestines, it's possible for them to fall out of their homeostatic limits, what's more, we can acquire microorganisms that should never be present in our body. In either case, a GI tract out of balance can lead to a number of health issues. And this easy at-home lab test measures microscopy antigens, cultures, and occult blood in your gastrointestinal tract so that you can take a deep dive into your health and uncover the true reason why you're feeling unwell. The collection method, of course, is a stool sample. Really easy to do at home. Once you get over the fact that you're testing your poop and putting it in the mail, it's really life-changing to know if you've been dealing with months or years of digestive issues. You owe it to yourself to figure out once and for all what the heck is going on inside your gut. And this test will help you pinpoint the causes of gastrointestinal symptoms and other chronic conditions by measuring key markers of digestion, absorption, and inflammation. Using a growth-based culture, the standard of practice in clinical microbiology, as well as sensitive biochemical assays and microscopy, this thorough stool test evaluates the status of beneficial and pathogenic microorganisms, including aerobic and anaerobic bacteria, yeast, and parasites. Antimicrobial susceptibility testing to prescriptive and natural agents is also performed to look for appropriate bacterial and fungal species. So really what that mouthful is saying is we're looking for appropriate bacterial and fungal species that should be in your body and an overgrowth of ones that should not. This comprehensive at-home lab test can provide the answers at the root cause level that can help bring your body back into balance. That's what it's all about. Being in balance, being in health. Your GI tract is the internal interface between you and the rest of the world. Anything that compromises its integrity and healthy function exposes you to a host of issues like inflammation and microbial imbalance. And we're looking at things like roundworm. In the slide, we're looking at things like hookworm and fluke and tapeworm and nematode and another nematode. And yes, those things actually live in our bodies. They are parasites that you can be living with and not know. They get in through being ingested, and they get into your intestines, and they live in there. They actually live in the colon lining. And they can spread into your lungs. They can spread into your heart. These are super, super important. They can also spread into your brain and causing brain dysfunction. So you could certainly have, memory loss or mood disorders or brain dysfunction from a parasite that is living in your gut. This is what is not taught in conventional medicine, my friends. Your doctor probably does not know about this, unfortunately. So how stressed are you, right? When you talk about stress, we think about things like extrinsic stressors. We think about things like the global pandemic and relationships and parenthood and career and financial issues and the news, bad news and social media and our broken education system and our health and sick care. But we forget to think about things that are intrinsic stressors like worry or fear, right? Our thoughts, our emotional balance, things like poor water quality, food sensitivities, chemical toxins, bacterial overgrowth, parasites, air pollution, skin care and beauty products, and mold toxicities. These are all things that stress our body out. So when somebody says, are you stressed? How do you really know? How do you really know unless you've tested for things like food sensitivities or vitamin mineral deficiencies or environmental toxicities? How do you actually know if you're stressed? So what comes after the at-home testing, you must be thinking by now. This is an amazing picture. Nature has always provided everything that we need. And Nature provides the best anti-parasitic, antifungal, antibacterial, and anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial remedies. Always has, always will. Now, that's not to say that you need a cabinet full of these herbs and spices like this, or need to go out and gather, beautiful dandelion greens or anything like that. It's just a wonderful picture to show you what nature provides for us. So again, the two primary ways to rebalance the body. If I had to pick just the two ways to help anybody, 90% of the people out there that have chronic health issues, calm that central nervous system, right? Reduce that stress, get that central nervous system to calm the heck down, and then heal and seal the gut. And those go hand in hand because the nervous system is going to be activated if the gut is out of balance. So to heal and seal the gut, you can see a nice cutaway of the large intestine there, the ascending colon, the transverse colon, the descending colon. A beautiful, beautiful design system that we have. And what happens in that gut is that creates 90% of the chemical messengers in your body. That's right. They're not created in the brain, or some of them are, but 90% of them are created in the gut. So if your gut's out of balance, then your chemical messengers are not getting the message across and causing chronic health issues. They're causing mental health issues. So these are the two primary ways to rebalance the body. How often does your conventional doctor, and again, I'm really not knocking conventional medicine because it has its place, but when it comes to chronic health issues, it's really not the leading edge in healthcare. It is really not. Calming the central nervous system. When was the last time your doctor asked about calming your central nervous system, or gave you recommendations on, taking magnesium supplements or a balanced zinc or things like that to calm that central nervous system, or to heal and seal the gut? When was the last time that your doctor offered to test for candida bacterial overgrowth, or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or mold, mold toxicities or environmental toxicities? Probably not. Probably not ever. So here's just one example that nature has been formulated into safe and effective functional medicine protocols. Now, I could go over, so many protocols here with you, but I just picked a couple to go over. And because many, many people struggle with sleep, this is just one example of a deep sleep protocol. And I gave you some supplement facts here showing you what's in the sleep help support and what's in the adrenal soothe. So if you're interested in taking that, and in the adrenal soothe, we have ashwagandha, which is a root, and we use an extract of that root in ashwagandha. And there's many, many studies on the benefits of ashwagandha. And if you're taking an ashwagandha supplement, you want to make sure that you're taking the right amount. And just 2 capsules of this adrenal soothe have 500 milligrams of ashwagandha in it. And a lot of ashwagandha products in there are just marketing for profit. And they are, probably selling you 30, 50 milligrams of ashwagandha, which is really not going to do anything for you. It's really not. But taking calming magnesium, taking melatonin at night, full spectrum magnesium, taking the sleep help support, and taking that adrenal soothe is going to put you in the best, deepest sleep ever. So here's just one more example, and this is one of our staple protocols for clients that are looking to rebalance their body naturally using natural health protocols. And this is a 7, 14, or 21-day functional medicine-derived liver detoxification protocol. Now, the word detox gets thrown out so many ways, and don't be confused. There are many things, products out there that are marketed for detox that really don't come from a place of true detoxification. And what this is a detoxification that works with the liver. Your liver's job is to filter your blood, all 10 pints of your blood on average, every 6 minutes, right? So 10 pints of blood every 6 minutes, 10 pints of blood every 6 minutes, a cycle for your entire life. That's what's happening. And when your liver cannot make the conversion from fat-soluble toxins to water-soluble toxins so that those toxins can be excreted out of the body, what happens to those toxins? They get stored in the body. They get stored in the fat tissue, in the adipose tissue, and then they manifest into diseases, into chronic illnesses and mental health issues and all kinds of problems. So this detox can be done in 7 days, 14 days, or 21 days. If you've never done one, absolutely recommend doing a 21-day functional medicine detox. We're not going to go too deep into this today, but I do have a free course at our client portal that you can find at loveandagingwellness.com, and click on the free detox course, sign up for the client portal, and you get access to that course. And you can learn more about how this functional medicine detox is a very important step in your health journey. But this is all natural based. The daily nutritional support, the functional medicine detox capsules, and the Ayurvedic detox capsules all help your liver to better do its job, because we're not getting those essential nutrients from food any longer. That's just the fact that food does not provide what is needed for your body to do its job. So one more example here, the probiotic misnomer. Nature, again, has been formulated into safe and effective functional medicine protocols. And this is our candida bacterial optimizer protocol that is made to rebalance your gut, right? If you have candida bacterial overgrowth or gut dysbiosis, this is basically the heal and seal protocol for your gut to eliminate the overgrowth of that bacteria and actually rebalance your gut and put it back into a healthy state. And it's so simple to do. It's actually a 3-month process, and you can see the 3 different colors there are broken down into month 1, month 2, and month 3. And at the bottom of the slide are the top 6 ingredients, all natural: Saccharomyces boulardii, oregano leaf extract, Kellos, and fungal protease, all kinds of things that are naturally supplied that your body needs to do this. And Saccharomyces boulardii, I'll talk about the probiotic misnomer. People think in order to be healthy, you need a probiotic. Well, what is a probiotic? It's bacteria. It's a healthy bacteria. But if you have a bacterial overgrowth, the last thing you want to do is put more bacteria on top of that until you rebalance your bacteria. And then you can start introducing good bacteria like, things like fermented foods like kombucha and kimchi and sauerkraut and things of that nature, right? Or putting a store-bought probiotic into your body on a regular basis that might be causing more damage than good. And so Saccharomyces boulardii, I'll get into that real quick, is just a very, very important bacteria that works. So contradictory to what I just said, that Saccharomyces boulardii is very unique, where it actually pushes out the bad bacteria and helps the good bacteria to repopulate and regrow. And one other great aspect about this protocol is it has what's called a biofilm disruptor. And what's a biofilm? Well, it's your body's protective layer that it puts up when it detects bacterial overgrowth, or detects, small intestinal bacteria, or detects something that shouldn't be in the gut. It creates an overgrowth. It creates a biofilm that is intended to protect. But what that biofilm does is it also creates a hideout for the exact thing that's bothering you, whether it's a parasite or whether it's bacterial overgrowth or something of the sort. Those bacteria like to hide out in the biofilm. So the first stage of this protocol is to disrupt that biofilm and release all that bad bacteria, that dead bacteria, to get out of the body. Very, very important before we work on sealing the gut. So that is part of the healing process. So how long does it take to rebalance the body and the mind? Hey, we're all extremely busy. Most of us are now so used to like on-demand shows and Prime deliveries and overnight shipping and next day air and Instacart and Instagram and all kinds of things, instantaneous gratification, so to speak, in every aspect of our lives. So keep in mind, the accumulation of toxins and depletion of minerals and vitamins happened over a long duration, probably most of our adult lives. Fortunately, it will not take decades or even years to rebalance yourself. So just take a guess to yourself mentally. Guess approximately how many cells make up a human being. Your body has 50 trillion cells, more or less, plus or minus, all of which turn over and regenerate every 120 days or less. Mostly the red blood cells in 120 days, mostly. Well, specifically 120 days for your red blood cells, which provide nutrients throughout your body. Some other cells take longer time. Some other cells take less time to turn over. So you are not the same body that you were last year. Physically, you are not the same body. So how long does it take to rebalance the body? Most people can see amazing results in just 12 to 16 weeks. Some people with more complex toxicities and deficiencies may take up to 6 months. And then the worst case, the worst of the worst case, typically see a complete transformation in a maximum of 12 months. That's wellness in 1 year or less, where conventional medicine most likely said that living with and managing the issue was the only option. That's right. Every chronic illness, every autoimmune disease, every issue such as that is fixable. And conventional medicine and mainstream media has led, and pharmaceutical marketing has led us to believe otherwise. So don't be fooled. The importance of a solid foundation. Short-term supplementation versus long-term foundational support. Daily foundational protocol, level 3, it's formulated to be a comprehensive package to support a healthy body and mind. That's right. Designed to provide the body all the tools necessary for healthy detoxification, digestion, daily multivitamin, probiotic, and enzyme support, plus 15 grams of plant-based protein. This protocol contains all the essentials from levels 1 and 2 with the added benefit of a daily digestive enzyme. The older we get, the harder it is to break down food. So this protocol helps us to do that and break down food. If you are getting help digesting, you are going to gain back your energy. It provides 15 grams of vegan hypoallergenic protein, nutrition of 22 fruits and vegetables and superfoods, activated multivitamin and multi-mineral support, and multi-strain probiotic support after, of course, you've healed and sealed your gut. Omega-3 supports heart and brain health, digestive enzymes to support optimal digestion. A healthy lifestyle is definitely part of the protocol, and it becomes a moving target. Every few years, it feels that the guidelines on which vitamins and minerals and fruits and superfoods are healthy seem to change. And with more supplements on the market than ever before, how can you be sure you're providing your body with all the high-quality essential nutrients it needs to thrive? This daily foundational support protocol, level 3, is formulated by Equalife's health experts to be the ultimate morning routine to support a healthy body and a mind. With just one shake or delicious smoothie and a few capsules, you'll unlock the benefits of the most comprehensive and extensively researched morning routines on the market. So this particular daily foundational protocol, level 3, it's designed to help you wake up and boost your energy. It's designed to prime your body for the day to come. And this protocol is designed by Dr. Cabal, and a quick and easy method of providing the body with plant-based protein plus bioavailable vitamins, important minerals, and compounds that help the body with detoxification. So I mentioned Dr. Stephen Cabral is the founder of the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, where I got my education. He is my mentor and also coach for helping me to help you. Even if you are eating a healthy diet, very few of us get the recommended 9 servings of fruits and vegetables, not to mention all the important nutrients required to keep our bodies running optimally with one delicious, smooth tasting product. This is amazing. I use this stuff every single day. And it's the importance of a solid foundation. It really is. If you don't have a solid foundation, well, then you look unstable like that Leaning Tower of Pisa that's so popular. And fun fact about the Leaning Tower of Pisa is it's 8 stories high. They got up to level 3 and realized that it was leaning, and they continued with the construction project, even though it was tipping. And still to this day, it stands. So someday they'll have to do something about it before it topples over. But the importance of a solid foundation, once you get your body back into a state of equilibrium, is super important to maintain that equilibrium. So putting it all together for you here, many debilitating mental health issues today have an underlying root cause. that, with the guidance of your personal integrative health coach, can be easily identified and rebalanced through functional medicine lab testing and clinically proven natural health protocols. So if we are doing this live, this is the opportunity, of course, for some Q&A. And if you're watching this recorded on our webinar here, what are your next steps? What are your next steps? Well, you can find me for some more health education over on the IG at Instagram. I am at Jeffrey Mort _IHP2, and you can go over there for some health education. Of course, we are on Facebook under Love Energy Wellness. We have a page there, and also you can join our Facebook group. It's a private group for support and community and guidance and a whole lot of love, energy, and wellness over there. And you can join that group on Facebook. And if you would like to have a one-on-one complimentary consultation with me to talk about your health goals and what your struggles are and where would you like to be in as little as 7 days, or over the course of the next 12 to 16 weeks, or even the course of a year, you can, if you're watching this on your computer, you can scan that QR code, and that will lead you to our complimentary consultation page. If you are watching this on your smartphone, you can certainly go to Instagram and find me there at Jeffrey Mort, IHP2, and go to the link in the bio to schedule your complimentary consultation. I hope you got a lot out of today's health education. I hope you learned a whole lot about the ins and outs of the body and how complementary medicine, how functional medicine and integrative health is different than conventional medicine, and how there is always an answer. And I'm just scrolling back here to the very beginning to end this wonderful presentation. I hope you get a lot out of it, and I hope I hear from you soon. If you have any questions, you can always reach me on social media, or you can email me at hello@jeffreymort.com. That's JEFFREYMORT.com. And I hope to hear from you soon. Take care, everybody. Wishing you love, energy, and wellness. Bye-bye.